If you've ever made a persona and you think it's basically a guess, girl, same. Subscribe and we'll keep making UX honest one episode at a time. Did you know every video game has NPCs, not like real playable characters? They walk around, they say scripted things. Think of it like Sims. Remember, they would make like weird sounds and then they just kind of exist in this world that we somehow bring to life. It just feel like they're actually alive. Here's the uncomfortable part. Those little Sims people is basically what a hypothesized persona is. And it's an uncomfortable truth because most UX personas are just NPCs. They're just scripted and nobody actually talked to them. But now AI can generate personas in like 30 seconds. So the question is, did we just upgrade the NPCs or did the AI actually create real personas? So did we make the problem better or did we just make it worse? Let's talk about personas, but let my cat in. So let's be honest about personas. You've made them. I've made them. We've all been in a room where we have the sticky notes and we're like, Sarah's 34 and she loves to hike and whatever about her, right? But Sarah's an NPC. Sarah's not real. We made her up. And for years, that's been fine because it's helped us create a better UX. And that took research. We knew enough about Sarah to create a persona of her. Hi. And nobody had the time, right? Like personas historically took a lot of time because it took figuring out enough data points to put them into a story about a person. But now, AI can just generate that in 30 seconds. Can you believe it? It's Kiki, by the way. And then just be here. For years, it was fine that we had personas that were just generally accurate, like hypothesized personas is what we call them, because we had enough data to say, okay, this is generally the story about Sarah and who she is as a client or a customer or a member. And nobody had the time to create a statistical persona because that takes a lot of user research and it can be very expensive. So it worked, right? Like it was enough. But now AI can generate a persona about Sarah in 30 seconds. It will have the pain points, it will have the journey, it will have the frustrations, it will have sometimes, depending on your prompt, research about other companies and their generalized or hypothesized personas. It will even include a quote that seems like it's from a real Sarah from a real interview, but it's not. And that's where it gets a little dangerous, right? Because it's not a real quote. It's not a real person, but they're treating it as such. The upside of this is that they're fast, right? So if you needed 5 of them by end of day, you could do that. Let's say you need to do a cruise app redesign and AI needed to create you personas that you're designing for the right people, right? Because Princess Cruise Lines and Disney Cruise Lines are 2 very different audiences. And so it would help you do that. It would have the friction points. It would have whatever you prompt in there. But generally, it would have the basics of the phases, the pain points, and the motivations. But what if it doesn't account for the edge cases that maybe that family traveling, maybe Sarah isn't in a wheelchair, but maybe her child is. And it doesn't really account for that. We have to prompt it to consider those edge cases and consider disability ethics, real life situations that are unexpected, like temporary disability. We just have to be careful that we're not taking them exactly at face value and that we're reprompting them to consider these different scenarios that might arise. Even something as simple as Sarah loses her passport while she's on a cruise in a port in Venice. I would say the overall downside of using AI for personification is that it's confidence, but without evidence. And that can be dangerous because it sounds real and there's what feels like real quotes. It has a name, it has a backstory. It's Sarah, she's 34, she loves cruising and she has 2 kids, but it doesn't say that it's grounded in anyone's actual evidence of their experience. So it's this average of a person that could look different for every single cruise line. And the worst part about it is that it knows it's a guess. So it's kind of a guess of a guess. But the AI pretends that it's actual research, which it's not. So with AGI now coming onto the horizon, it gets even more dangerous. So imagine that the AGI generates the persona, but then the AGI can argue against that persona. So it kind of simulates these responses and it feels like real users, but they're not interviews. So at what point do we actually stop talking to real people? You see what I mean? That is the danger zone. So how do we fix it? There's 3 things to keep in mind for your gut check. There's no reason that you can't have AI generate your drafts perfectly fine. It's fast, it's useful, it's generally accurate, right? But the second step I would say is go talk to real people, right? Go talk to 3 people after you do your drafts of the AI personas and make sure it's like for 15 minutes each. Don't have it be really quick. You want to get a feel for the inflections in their voices because then you can actually start comparing it, step 3, to your predictions versus what humans actually said in the interview. And that's golden. You'll also get a feeling for what will start to derail or diverge from what real humans say versus kind of trends of what the AGI will say. And you'll start to pick up on it. Just remember that AIs are just a draft. It's not the final answer. It's always better to talk to real people. And if you can use them cohesively, your work will be much quicker. So AGI can be helpful, but it's not a substitute. The NPC problem is not that personas are fictional. It's that we forget that they are. So we just want to keep remembering that anything created by AI is generalized and to some extent made up more than we would have made up with our own ways of creating personas. So talk to real people, the real ones. Again, 15 minutes. You can always prompt in what you learned to create another iteration of the draft that the AI made of your personas. Speed without validation creates convincing fiction. So gut check. Do the draft. Talk to 3 people. And trust humans where AI kind of diverges. Personas should be research informed, not AI imagined. So stop designing for NPCs. Start designing for real humans like you and me. With a little help on the side from AI. Let's be real. I'm Jill. This is Design and Travel, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you've ever made a persona and secretly guessed what it was supposed to be, subscribe and we'll keep making UX honest. Ooh, next Tuesday, we're going to talk about AI-generated alt text. Is it actually making the web more accessible or just filling in the blanks when a robot skips it? We'll test it live. Join me then. Till next time, I'm Jill, and thank you for spending time with me. Feel free to like and subscribe this video.